The tide is falling. On a shelf of dark basalt, a shallow bowl of seawater catches the last of the wave. Within minutes, the ocean has withdrawn and the pool is alone. For the next 6 hours, everything inside it must survive without the sea. A tidal pool is a paradox. It is both refuge and trap, a fragment of ocean marooned on stone. Twice each day, the moon pulls the water back and leaves these small worlds exposed to sun, wind, rain, and predators. Twice each day, the sea returns and rewrites the rules. The rhythm is ancient. Long before the first human walked a shoreline, the tides were shaping life along the world's rocky margins. In every ocean, from the coasts of Maine to the shores of New Zealand, the same pattern repeats. Water rises, water falls, and between those breaths, an entire community must endure. Consider the conditions. In a single afternoon, a pool's temperature can climb by more than 10 degrees Celsius under a summer sun. Salinity can double as water evaporates, or plunge toward fresh when rain pours in. Oxygen levels swing wildly as algae photosynthesize by day and consume by night. For the creatures inside, this is not adversity. It is home. Barnacles clamp shut with a plate of calcium, sealing a drop of seawater within their shells. Limpets press themselves against the rock, grinding a groove they will return to again and again. Each animal has evolved a strategy for the hours the ocean is gone. The mussel is a masterpiece of endurance. Anchored by byssal threads stronger than steel by weight, it can survive hours of exposure without opening. Inside its shell, it slows its metabolism to a whisper. It waits, patient as stone, for the returning tide. Above the mussels, the periwinkles crawl. These small snails can survive weeks out of water, sealing their bodies behind a horny plate called an operculum. Below them, the anemones retract into glistening blobs, holding a bead of seawater against their tentacles. Every centimeter of the rock face belongs to a specialist. Scientists call this vertical arrangement zonation. In the 1950s, the ecologists Jack and Hilary Stephenson mapped it across the world's coastlines. They found the same bands repeated everywhere, from South Africa to Scotland. Each species occupies the exact strip of shore where it can outcompete its neighbors and still survive the tide. The boundaries are ruthless. Push a barnacle too high and it dries out. Let it sink too low and predators devour it. In 1961, the American ecologist Joseph Connell demonstrated this on the Scottish island of Cumbria, showing how competition and desiccation together carve the sharp lines visible on any rocky shore. Inside the pool itself, life is denser still. A single bowl the size of a dinner plate may hold hundreds of species. Green algae carpet the bottom. Hermit crabs shuffle between stones in borrowed shells. Tiny fish called blennies dart between crevices, their bodies flattened for tight spaces. The sea star is the pool's slow tyrant. Moving on hundreds of tube feet, it hunts mussels and snails with implacable patience. It grips its prey, pulls the shell apart by millimeters, and pushes its own stomach out through its mouth to digest the flesh alive. Nothing in the pool is safe when the sea star arrives, yet even the tyrant has a rival. In 1963, the ecologist Robert Payne began removing sea stars from a stretch of Washington coastline. Within a year, mussels overran everything. 15 other species vanished. Payne had discovered what he called the keystone species, an animal whose presence holds an entire community together. The tidal pool, then, is not a random collection of survivors. It is an intricate machine, tuned by predation, competition, and the tide itself. Remove one piece, and the machine falters. This small stone bowl became one of the most influential laboratories in the history of ecology. But survival in the pool is not only about biology. It is about time. 6 hours to endure the heat. 6 hours to wait for the sea. The creatures do not know the hour, but their bodies keep the schedule with astonishing precision, tuned across millions of years to the pull of the moon. Some species carry the tide inside them. Studies of shore crabs and limpets have shown internal clocks that continue to tick even in laboratory darkness, cycling on the 12.5-hour rhythm of the sea. When the tide returns, they are ready. When it leaves, they have already begun to slow. The returning water is a moment of violence. Waves crash back over the shelf, hammering the rock with tons of force. Anything not anchored is swept away. The mussels open. The barnacles unfurl their feathery legs, the anemones bloom outward, and the pool becomes ocean again. For a few hours, the creatures feed. Plankton stream in with the tide. Fish return from deeper water. The pool's chemistry rebalances, its oxygen refreshed, its temperature restored. Then the moon pulls again, the sea retreats, and the 6-hour siege begins once more. This cycle has run for hundreds of millions of years. Fossil evidence suggests that some of the earliest complex animals lived in tidal environments during the Cambrian, more than 500 million years ago. The tide taught life how to endure extremes. Some scientists believe it taught life how to leave the sea entirely. Today, the pools face a new pressure. Warming oceans, acidifying water, and rising seas threaten the delicate zonation that took evolutionary ages to establish. Species are creeping poleward, some bands are thinning. The rocky shore, ancient as it is being rewritten within a single human lifetime, and still the tide falls. On a shelf of dark basalt, a shallow bowl of seawater catches the last of the wave. Inside it, a mussel closes, a limpet settles. An anemone folds itself against the rock. For 6 hours they will hold on as they have held on since before there were eyes to watch them.